Brugly! Dude, I have not watched Brugly in a moment. I gotta admit, I freaking love Brugly. I don't know why I haven't seen more of his videos. He's freaking great, and he explains a lot of like the extended lore backroom stuff. Yeah, the reason why I've always been kind of on and off about that is because he goes into like the wiki version of the backrooms, whereas the actual like canon story, the original Backrooms, is still an ongoing story that's barely being told. Like the wiki took off on a wild tangent, whereas Alex, the actual creator of the Backrooms, is still writing the story. They're like half of the like not even half. I'd say more than half, like 95%, if not more, 97% of all the stuff from the extended wiki are just not in the original Backrooms at all. So it's kind of like, okay, they're going, like, the original Backrooms is going, like, in a direction of, like, a mold fungus thing that exists, in, like, this liminal space. But, there's a lot, like, the extended Backroom stuff is also pretty cool. They really need to, like, come up with different names, I would say. Now, this in specific, I don't know if this is from the Backrooms, but I believe some of the images I'm staring at here look like they are. So, I just sort of opened up this tab as an excuse to get to Brugly, so let's go and check out his stuff. Let me see if there's anything in particular. YouTube, why do you always do this? I literally just opened up the video. Why is it red like I watched the whole thing? I literally just turned it on and paused it. Alright, whatever. Why is the Backrooms cracking? Is this from like the most recent video? Ooh, the top 5. Okay, this sounds cool. Top 5 Backrooms levers that you've never heard of. Let's check out these levers, bro. You think they oil them up before they pull the lever, Trunk? Alright, Brugly, as always, ladies and gentlemen, please go and check them out. I'm gonna drop the link on the Discord. And y'all can go and check that out. Alright, go drop him a like, go drop him a sub. They deserve it. Amazing video, amazing content.
Hello everyone, in this video I will be explaining 5 pretty interesting Backrooms levels that you—
Shout out to Brugly. I was a fan back when you used to have that MS Paint Brugly character. Just saying!
probably never heard of. These levels are brand new,
Hashtag shout out to
never
MS
before
Paint.
seen on this channel. Actually, never before seen by anybody's eyes. Until now, of course. I thought it'd be pretty cool to throw together a video
The
like
frick is
this. I
this?
haven't done something like this in a while, actually, so if you do enjoy—
Yeah, I do love videos that, like, go into, like, it's kind of like a weird version of, like, a iceberg, where it's kind of like, I don't have time to read a million, like, Backrooms, logs, so somebody else go do it and show me the cool ones.
I'd really appreciate it. Watch till the end of the video to hear a little secret about how I got access to these levels. And without further ado, let's get into these 5 interesting—
In general, please always watch videos to the end of the freaking video. It really helps the algorithm.
spooky Backrooms levels that you've never heard of, shall we? Backrooms level 0.67. Level 0.67.
There's a lot of rooms that are like 0 point something. There's a lot of room zeros. I don't know why. There's also, like, negative numbers.
As the Cold Lobby is classified as a class dead
The
zone
Cold
rating,
Lobby.
and is just a very bad time overall. What a way to start out the video, the dead
What
zone
does dead
rating,
zone mean?
my
Is that, like,
favorite.
bad,
This
or is
level
that, like, there's
a
nothing that lives there?
sub-level that takes place
Like,
in
uninhabitable.
between level 0 and 1. But you won't find it on the list of sub-levels on the Wikidot, and I had no clue it existed until making this video. Anyways, the layout and the design of this level is quite similar to what you'd see in level 0.
To be fair, I don't think any of these rooms exist. Like, the wiki, I don't know if the wiki necessarily is, like, the almighty ruler, the canon, you know? Since none of it follows the original Backrooms even anyways.
The colors are kind of the same, the designs on the walls are kind of the same, but the main difference is that those walls and overall spatial layout here is constantly shifting and reorienting itself, which pretty much just means the walls are glitching around. This makes the level have an unstable and corrupted appearance to those that come here. This corruption makes it
So
really
it's like a
difficult
more
to walk
advanced
around because you
like,
can't just touch something that's glitchy.
It really does look like a level 0 that's, like, more glitched out.
or else you'll glitch through it. On top of the glitchy atmosphere and the walls constantly no-clipping around, the level itself is very, very cold. Like, you can't even stay inside of it at all because it's estimated to be negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. As of right
Oh! Okay, definitely uninhabitable.
now, there are 3 known cycles to this level that it goes through, and all of these will affect how you explore or survive it. Those cycles are the stationary period, the active period, and the twilight zone. The stationary period is
The
exactly
hell is
what
that?
it sounds like. These are very short periods or breaks that last about 3 to 5 seconds when everything stops moving.
Only 3 to 5 seconds, by the way. Bro said, yeah, you're gonna get about 5 seconds to rest, and then we're gonna start this up again. This wild ride's still going.
Walls no longer glitch, there's nothing shifting,
Welcome
there's
to
no
Mr.
more
Frog's
anomalies.
Wild Adventure.
For 3 to 5 seconds, it's just completely still and everything's normal. These normal periods happen at random intervals and they cannot be guessed or timed or charted or anything. They're just random. The active period is, of course, when all the walls are jutting and glitching and moving around haphazardly in these random patterns. Essentially, it's when the level is in its glitchy state. To this day, no one knows what causes these glitches or how people figured out what they do, but it is very dangerous to interact with, especially the walls when this happens, because touching one of these glitchy walls might cause you to clip inside or mess up your own bodily geometry somehow. The Twilight Zone is the final and most enigmatic zone in this level. It's not really a cycle, it's more of a location inside of the sublevel, and it takes the appearance of a very large pitch black vacuum-like area where every piece of light is absorbed. So the light from the main parts of the area does not seep in here, and the flashlights that you bring or anything else will
It doesn't see. So that means like it's just pitch black, as suited like right at the doorway.
not work. It's just Vanta black everywhere.
Damn, it's probably because it's Energizer though. To be honest,
And this darkness effect is
I'm
actually
joking. Energizer's great.
only visible
Their stuff actually
once you
lasts a
get
minute.
inside the region. So it's not like you can see it from far away and avoid it. You kind of just accidentally
It's
walk
no
inside,
Duracell, you know,
and
but
then you'll know you're in there. But if you do find yourself wandering into the Twilight Zone, you need to turn around and walk the other direction as quickly as you can to try to find the way you found it. Just like I said, the light from the regular area disappears the second you enter a Twilight Zone, so the only way you can get out is if you just take the exact steps you just took, but the exact opposite way. If you continue to walk straight and try to feel around, you will undoubtedly get lost and become consumed by the darkness. Or rather, what lurks inside of the darkness. Because as for the creatures in this sublevel,
okay, I was gonna say, I'm like that sucks. You just, what was it? I think there's an SCP that's literally just like doors. Like it's just like it's a square, like it's like a square like cement room, and then you go inside the door, and that room has 4 doors. The door behind you that you just walked in through, a door in front of you, a door to your left, and a door to your right. And if you go like, no matter which door you pick, except for the original door that you came in from, every single door leads to another room with 4 doors. And if you remember the order of the doors, so like if you go right, left, right, left, right, left, then reverse it, go left, right, left, right, left, right, you will end up back in the real world. But of course, if at any point you get turned around, you mistake, you think that the door on the left is the one on the right, or you go forward instead of left, you just forget which way, that's it, you're screwed. You would have to remember the order of the doors that you walked in from in order to escape that dimension. Otherwise, you're screwed inside of like an eternal, like, room after room after room after room with nothing in it. There's no monsters. There's no nothing. There's no light either, though. It's just pitch dark. So it's like whatever light you have on like your cell phone or whatever is all the light you're gonna get for eternity. And there's no windows. It's just a cement room. It's gonna be dark with 4 doors. And that is horrifying to think about, getting trapped or stuck in there for eternity, bro. Because then you got nothing else to do. All you can do is walk and go through doors hoping, but you might be even getting more lost by doing that too.
there is one, and it is one that you should definitely
I think
know.
the only move, honestly, at that point, if you know for a fact you're lost, and you might even be screwed then, is to just wait and hope somebody else walks through, in even though it's almost impossible to happen, and then just like hope that they know how to get back.
about. It's nicknamed the Lurker, and other than this sublevel, there have been no sightings of it anywhere. It's just here. The Lurker lives and hides in the Twilight Zone, and because of this, only small glimpses or touches of the entity have been seen. It is said to be a four-legged creature with a rough height of 7 feet tall. There are no defining features to its face that you can really tell other than a gap where a mouth is. The entity is passive to wanderers inside of the Twilight Zone, and it doesn't attack you inside there, but trust me, that doesn't mean it's safe. It's not at all safe. When the level goes through one of its stationary periods...
Wait, so it's passive in the Twilight Zone?
The wanderers inside of the Twilight Zone, and it doesn't attack you inside there, but trust me, that doesn't mean it's safe. It's not at all safe. When the level goes through one of its stationary periods, when the walls stop moving and everything stops glitching, this is when the Lurker entity hunts. If you're outside the Twilight Zone in one of the stationary periods for those few seconds, the Lurker will sense you from anywhere on the level, and it will run after you and chase you at an inhumanly fast pace to
What the frick? So never mind. It's the opposite. You know how we're saying that you get 5 seconds of rest? Nah. You get 5 seconds of brutal horror. It's as it chases you. The entire level fixes itself. So there's a clear line and path to get you to you, and this thing just chases you for those 5 seconds until the level glitches out again.
consume you. Essentially, it moves so fast that there's no way you can protect yourself from it. Even though there's only 3 to 5 seconds of stationary time, the entity will incapacitate you and drag your body back to the Twilight Zone during that 5 seconds, meaning it runs at several hundred miles per hour. There's really nothing you can do if the entity senses you, so in order for it not to, just try to make little to no noise, because that seems to be how it hunts. So yeah, that's pretty fun, I'd say. To enter this level...
Hey, okay, but so wait, did he say that it just... Does it just know?
Twilight Zone in one of the stationary periods for those few seconds, the lurker will sense you from anywhere on the level, and it will
try to make as little noise as possible, but it can sense you from anywhere in the level, so... You're screwed, I guess. It might be more of like a general sense, so it's not like it pinpoints to exact location, but it just knows more like it will... Like, it can, maybe that's what it is. It's like, even the tiniest noise could alert it from anywhere in the Backrooms. Okay.
Several hundred miles per hour. There's really nothing you can do if the entity senses you, so in order for it not to, just try to make little to no noise, because that seems to be how it hunts. So yeah, that's pretty fun, I'd say. To enter this level, you have to follow these instructions exactly.
Yo, escape the Backrooms? Take notes. This sounds good. This is like the ultimate form of, like, green light, red light, where you have to, like, run while the level's glitched out, and as soon as the level fixes itself and turns normal, you have to stand still and not move at all. Don't make noise, don't do nothing.
And you have to do so by entering a vent on level 0, crawl forward for an unknown amount of time, and
to get there, you have to go through a vent in level 0. I ain't going no vents in level 0. But to be fair, sometimes you're kind of screwed, huh?
It'll feel like air conditioning's blowing on you. Once this coldness happens, you have to crawl back the way you came for about half a mile, and at that point...
So to get there, you have to go into a vent, wait until you feel AC, till it gets cold, then go backwards from when you came. For
you will no-clip into a single room with 2 doors. One door is labeled hot, one door is labeled cold. Choosing the cold door will take you to this corrupted, strange level. If you do not complete those steps, or if you do them in the wrong order, you'll probably just get sent to a random level. To exit this sublevel, you have to no-clip through a wall while the level is in a...
Okay, but what happens if you go into the room labeled hot?
Stationary period, and when those walls stop moving. But again, you have to hurry to do this because you have to outrun and outmaneuver the lurker entity before the level goes back to its glitchiness again. And if you do
repeat that, because I was talking.
Those steps, or if you do them in the wrong order, you'll probably just get sent to a random level. To exit this sublevel, you have to no-clip through a wall while the level is in a stationary period, and when those...
Oh, that sucks. While it's stationary. Which means you have to try to go through a wall, potentially banging your hand on it while you're trying to go through it, potentially making noise while that thing's hunting.
Wall stop moving. But again, you have to hurry to do this because you have to outrun and outmaneuver the lurker entity before the level.
And again, the only way to really no-clip in this world is to, like, You basically it's basically like a random like thing. If the wall looks a bit different, weird, glitched out, like maybe the shaders on it are wrong, you know what I mean? You could potentially no clip through it, but otherwise there's no guaranteed way to no clip. I don't think.
Goes back to its glitchiness again, and if you do all that and somehow avoid it, you might be safe and you might escape. This level is very strange. It seems to be the home of a very unique and very rare Backrooms creature, and I gotta say, I would never in my right mind come here, so I don't think you should either. Level 103.
Yeah, luckily it seems like the only real way to get there is to do that like the ventilation trick. Though of course there are some levels that just fling you to random levels, so you can always end up in a really bad one.
Has been given a class 3 difficulty due to how hard its environment is to live in. There aren't any entities here or anything, which is nice, but it doesn't really matter
great
when I tell you how bad the effects of this level are. You see, level 103 is a large grid-like plane that is green and black in coloration, and it expands out infinitely in all directions. It looks like an early 3D software program on an old computer, and that is exactly why it's dangerous, because the level actually has the ability to generate 3D spaces that replicate other Backrooms levels or real-life places, almost exactly to a T. It's kind of like a live VR experience. Oftentimes, when wanderers find themselves inside this level and they can't escape, they walk into a 3D generated space this level created, and the wanderer actually thinks they made it out. They think they left, they think they're in a different level, when in reality, it's just a generated fake version from this level. Due to this, a high number of people have entered here and never escaped. The majority of the level is just the large green and black plane though, and you might actually only encounter a false render while you're trying to exit the level. Besides the flat plane though, there are some deformities in the ground. There are several small hills and bumps located in different spots, and these can actually be pretty dangerous if you fall down because you could break your ankle or something. In the very middle of this entire level, there is a large void.
Yeah, so just in general, it's like a mountainous land, or it's like a landscape that you just it hasn't been fully rendered. That's pretty dope.
Like
it's a wire mesh of a rendered area.
Cascades downwards into a shadow. It's believed that this area is the only true exit to the level and the only way out, because as far as we know, this entire level exists as a trap. One that you can enter, but you can't really leave. But it's more sinister than that because of how realistic the 3D renders appear to be. Especially to somebody who's like dehydrated or has been wandering for a long time, you might think these renders are real. It's unknown how to enter and how to exit this level, so if you wind up here at all, just try to jump in that void in the middle to be sent out, and don't fall for the fake realities. Level 188.1.
I guess if it's a fake reality, like what does that mean? Like would you have food? Would you have water? Would you have anything? Like what does that entail? How fake is it? You know, like would you be eating food that doesn't actually sustain you because of that fact? You know.
Level 188.1 has been given a class PSI difficulty due to several severe mental hazards and illnesses that you might get while exploring the level, as well as from a corrupted layout. Now, the level 188 might sound familiar to you, and that's because it's the hotel level, the famous courtyard and windows. But this level is a sub-level.
Oh yeah, we played that one in Escape the Backrooms.
Of course, it's level 188.1. This area looks very similar to its parent level, save for a couple of design choices, mainly being that the entire area, the hallways, the courtyard, the windows, all of them are decorated in a retro Baroque style architecture. Essentially everything in the sub-level is 20 times as fancy as the main level. There's things like...
Oh, that's awesome! It really is like a weird render of a video game. It's the courtyard of windows, but it's all fancy.
Wooden window
it's
frames,
for fancy
high
boys.
ceilings, crown moldings, intricate carvings, large spiral staircases, and paintings, and all of that is scattered around this level and its various hallways. Walking through these hallways can actually give wanderers strange effects that I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this. These effects can show themselves in many ways, but
like
specifically
what?
and most commonly, they are in the form of severe mental illness. Things like amnesia or dementia are very common for everyone.
This is the image you give us for amnesia or dementia? Sure!
to experience if they stay here for too long. And you might be asking yourself brutally, how does a healthy young person or anybody just get dementia from being somewhere? Well, after
No, that
about a
is kind
week
of terrifying. Imagine running around in the back rooms and suddenly getting dementia. Like, you'd be so screwed in the back rooms. Like, so screwed. The first
exploring
entity you
this
run into
level, or
will wipe
being
you
lost
out.
in it rather, every explorer will begin to fall ill. They'll experience sweating and fever and headaches and fatigue. And these symptoms usually just get worse and worse the longer you stay in these hallways, and then eventually you'll begin to lose your memory and your critical thinking ability and your sight and your hearing and all your senses. Obviously the symptoms start slowly and you won't even notice them at first, but the second you do feel a symptom, you need to escape before those other ones start. That way you don't get stuck in this level, wandering forever without your mind. Entering the level is easy. You can just
And
find
that's
a
the
door on
creepiest part. Is that that's your ultimate fate, is just to wander the halls aimlessly for eternity.
level 188 that has classical music
But,
playing
like,
from behind it.
there's like
opening
a
up
difference
and walking
between,
in.
like, wandering the back rooms aimlessly for eternity, trying to escape, and just doing it because your mind is so broken.
Here. Once you do that though, and once you close the door, the entrance goes away, so you can't go back. And that's why exiting the sublevel is a whole nother story. It's very difficult because you have to find a randomly appearing metal gray door, open it up, and you'll be sent back to level 188. However, that's very hard because, like I said, this level is designed classically. There's no metal doors, so if you see one, it's very rare. But just walking around this level for weeks at a time and getting lost in the infinite labyrinth of hallways behind the courtyard and having your brain lose itself and amnesia set on, it just makes the entire thing more difficult and honestly just not fun at all. Level 102. Level
But the sound of it,
102,
though,
or the
again, no entities. I mean, I'm just saying, like, compared to everywhere else in the back rooms, like every single room we've met, every entity, every bad situation, this place drives you insane as you sort of, like, walk around. And if I'm being completely honest with you, you know, why do I want to go to the next back rooms levels? They all suck. Like, they all have something bad. So it's like, you know what? Maybe I will wander around for an eternity and lose my mind. You know, if you lose your marbles, you won't have to, so, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about the rest of the back rooms anymore. Suddenly you don't care.
Freshwater Abyss has been given a class 1 difficulty.
That is a cool
and
name.
is the first kind of safe level in the video. The level
Okay,
is
okay.
assumed to be an infinite concrete water reservoir structure that's similar to those of real life. The water inside is safe to consume, but it is not almond water, and it goes down very deep below your feet. This level is
That's insane. It is I need to strain how incredibly rare, like ultra rare it is to have actual drinkable water in the back rooms. Like almost everything, like pretty much almost every single room. Even if you were like to open up the faucets, the sink, it would be almond water. And that's like one of those things that I always felt like was kind of cool about the back rooms. Like there was no real actual water, drinkable water. Cause that's just one of those things that are like, it's a natural, like instinctual thing that we need water as a species. Like water is so important to everything in life. But to be in the back rooms, it is not in life. That is outside of the world of life. That is outside of of reality, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if I like the fact that this is drinkable water. I would accept it if they said it is drinkable. It's kind of like water, but it doesn't hydrate you. I would have even accepted that. You know, just like because there's just something not off about it, not correct, which I feel like is the essence of the back rooms.
said to look very similar to the real-life water storage reservoir from Germany in Munich. So this can lead some people to believe that they're actually back in reality when they see this level, because it just looks so similar. Anyways, swimming inside this level is very important because that's the only way you can move around and travel. Make sure that you can actually swim before you try to explore this level, because the water is very deep and you cannot see the bottom. Lighting in this level is also pretty scarce, and
that is incredibly scary, though. The fact that you have to swim in an almost like a very deep, like reservoir. You can't even see the bottom.
Most of the time you'll be exploring, it'll be dark unless you bring light with you. There are several tunnels that lead off from this main reservoir
what kind of light
area,
are you even gonna
and
bring?
these lead back to smaller reservoirs of water in their own rights. These smaller spaces are much older, much more decayed, and they fill people that go there with paranoia. They're typically more claustrophobic and made out of bricks and more corrosive ingredients. Overall, it's just a more harsh environment in these back reservoirs. These places are also breeding grounds for the wretched cycle.
Okay, never mind. Okay, bad. Never mind. There's totally bad things in here.
More corrosive ingredients. Overall, it's just a more harsh environment in these back reservoirs.
The back
These places
reservoirs
are
specifically.
also breeding grounds for the wretched cycle. So be careful not to get lost in the labyrinth of little tunnels, because you might turn into a wretch if you do. Clumps are also pretty common back here as well, but if you avoid these
How though? Wait, how is a clump gonna chase you in the back reservoir? If it's just like all water, or are there like areas that you can walk on? Maybe.
back halls and back reservoirs, then you should be pretty good. The main reservoir has no entities. To enter this level, you can no-clip through the floor.
Okay, so the main reservoir has no entities.
Are also pretty common back here as well. But if you avoid these back halls and back reservoirs, then you should be pretty good.
Okay, there are halls. Okay, that makes sense. So they're probably in the halls. Now the wretched though, the wretched are like humans that basically get lost. Like you don't have to get like, they're not like the hounds. The hounds, if they bite you, you become a hound. The wretched are like just if you get lost and start to lose your mind, you will eventually become a wretch. Like just over time, slowly but surely, wretched are people that just lost their minds and have been warped by the backrooms, basically. Which is kind of creepy.
The main reservoir has no entities. To enter this level, you can no-clip through the floor on level 8.1, and to exit, you can no-clip into a pillar inside of the main part of the reservoir to get sent out to level 30. This level's cool if you kind of want to go to a safe level and relax in kind of a sensory deprivation chamber, or if you just want to get a nice drink of water or explore some water stuff. That doesn't make much sense, but you get what I'm saying. Level...
Again, I like it. I like it overall. I don't know if I like the fact that you can go and just get actual water. But this seems like a very good way for a lot of like the groups that exist in the back rooms to like get a pretty consistent source of water, of drinkable water.
Something's in the grass. This is the final level for the video, and it has been given a class 5 difficulty rating due to it being unsafe and unstable with a dangerous creature or two that might be lurking around.
What the frick
this
is that
level is mainly
thing?
made up of many fields of grass or wheat that repeat forever. The first field you'll see is likely going to be a wheat field with a small windmill in the front of it. When you wake up to find yourself on this level and you see that windmill, you'll begin to take in your surroundings. You really can't see anything but wheat and the windmill.
This is scary because there's another level also full of wheat. I don't know about windmills, but definitely wheat. With like goblin creatures that sweat out almond water.
But after
so what if you get
closer
confused?
and closer to that windmill, you'll begin to hear strange screeching noises and screaming coming from seemingly under the ground. But moving past the wheat field and continuing to walk in a straight direction, you'll begin to find other types of fields. The next
from under the ground, he said.
One you might run into is a grass field. This grass field typically has a darker ambience and just a darker mood. The sky here is grayer, the wind is cool and almost cold, the grass is darker, and there's only really one thing in this area that you might find, and that is a decaying farmhouse. The exterior and the interior of this farmhouse is all in a collapsing state. All the rooms inside are torn up and old.
Ugh,
and
you know what sucks? My first instinct is avoid it, stay away. Something lives in there and is gonna eat you. But at the same time, that might be it might be one of those situations where you have to go in there and you have to go to the basement, and inside the basement there's a closet, and that's the only way to get out or something.
The outside itself is not much better. Near this house is actually the entrance to a cave mining area that also looks to be abandoned and old. Going down this entrance will open up this labyrinth of hallways and tunnels and caves that
why would you
really
go
can't
down
tell
there?
is there from above until you find this entrance. This labyrinth seems to run underneath the entire field and all of the fields that I've talked about. Different anomalies are very common here, like broken wooden stairs, old mine shafts, dripping water, random pools of water too, and this cave is also home to rare instances of smilers. But it's between this cave and the field above where a strange
Rare instances of smilers? And what the frick is that? That's not a smiler.
water, random pools of water too, and this cave is also home to
I don't think that's a smiler. That's not a smiler.
rare instances of smilers. But
That's
it's
a smiler.
between this cave and the field above where a strange entity lives. This entity has been nicknamed the Consumer. The creature
They are brother! Brother, they are consumers. I'm sorry, I gotta, where is it? Brother, they are consumers, brother!
My father, when they took me to a, and I saw the truth, blended the flesh, consumed surely one of us. They suspended the flesh above a fire and let it burn before they took pleasure of the wicked faction from. The figures are consumers, brother. They are no.
The figures are consumers, brother!
itself is not fast, as it has no legs, but it takes the appearance of a large slug-like entity that drags itself around the level with two long front arms and skinny, bony hands. It's said that the entity looks slimy and dirty, and it reeks of rot and decay. And it is in fact what makes that screeching noise, by the way, that I mentioned earlier.
Got
It is
it.
not very
Understood.
fast, like I said, though, because it doesn't have any legs and it drags itself around, but the way it hunts is terrifying. The consumer will burrow itself in the dirt to sleep or hunt, and then once a wanderer or something walks above it in the dirt, its long arm and bony hand will reach out, grab whatever that is, and drag them under the ground in the dirt to consume them. It's impossible to tell where
That's
this entity is
horrifying.
hiding under the ground, so you really have to watch every step you take and not make too much noise because it senses you through your vibrations. And if you do get grabbed by the leg or whatever by the consumer and it starts dragging you under, the likelihood is you're not making it out alive. To enter this
You better
level,
have an
to
axe or
no
something to
clip
chop
through the
that
glass
hand.
on level 45, and to exit, you
I'll
actually
put
have
a
to find
machete
the
in its
house that I
mouth.
mentioned, the one that's falling down. You have to enter through one of its broken windows, and then no clip through its stairs to be sent out of the level.
You
And
have to
trust me,
wait,
on it,
what?
You actually have to find that house that I mentioned, the one that's falling down. You have to enter through one of its broken windows, and
You have to enter to one of you see what I'm saying? You gotta enter through the broken window.
then no clip through its stairs to be sent out of the level. And trust me, I would literally get out as fast as
So get to the house slowly. Without making too many vibrations. Go in through a broken window, and then lay down on the stairs, hoping that you no-clip through them.
I could, because you risk getting, consumed or pulled under the ground the longer you're here. And I'm not trying to get eaten by a giant slug with no legs. All right, those are 5 dangerous Backrooms levels that you've never heard of. And I told you in the intro that if you stay till the end, I had a little secret to tell you of how I got these. And that secret is, these levels are all fan-made. These are fan-made levels that you submitted to me over on Discord. Or rather, the people that submitted them did. They're in the description below, by the way. That's right, though. I am bringing these series back from 2 years ago, the fan-made levels series. If you're new here, this is where I go over levels or entities that you all created and submitted to me over on my Discord. The link to
like
the
from the
Discord will
community.
be below if you want to participate in the fan-made level series. I cannot say how often I'll do this series, but I did think I'd bring it back for now, at least temporarily. If you do want more episodes, leave a like so I can actually tell, and leave a comment below. Let me know if I should continue to do it. I know a lot of you have been asking for this back, but I'm not sure how it'll be.
I like this because now we also have like a community of people with AI stuff, so they can make more creepy stuff. You know what I mean?
Received now, since it's 2 years later. So if you do enjoy, like I said, please leave a like and please comment that you actually enjoyed it. And again, if you want to submit your own level or your own entity, head over to my Discord in the description below to do so.
I have actually, and I'm never gonna. I'm probably not gonna release it unless I release it onto the official wiki somehow. I've made my own little short horrors and stuff like that. Some of them could fit into the world. Some of them definitely can't. Who knows? I might release some of those or do like a voiceover reading of some of my old stories. Dude, I've been writing scary stories since like middle school, if not earlier, bro. I love all this kind of stuff. Absolutely amazing video. Sorry, I did
This
not
cave.
hit like myself. There we are. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!